Yo, what's up, fam? It's your homeboy Big Mac coming at you with another video. Subscribe to the channel, man. If it's your first time visiting, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, man. I talk about all things prison related, crime related, and some politics. Some recent events. And today, I'm gonna talk about uh, Today I want to talk about an incident that happened while I was at Tabor City. Okay, now Tabor City. Let me give you a little bit of a geographical setup. I've shown you the map in the video before, but it's all cell blocks, right? So you got a bubble here, and you got a cell block, cell block, cell block, right? That's on this wing. And then you got an upstairs, which has the same amount of cell blocks. Now on the other side of the hallway down there, you got another wing with a bubble, cell block, cell block, cell block, and then up top you got another one. So it's 4 stories high. Well, we was about to go to lunch one day, and there's a count time right before lunch, and I don't know what happened. I didn't hear the words that was said. All I know is some Crips and some Bloods was getting in a heated argument, right? And anytime something like that happens, man, you open your eyes. You know what I'm saying? You want to see what's going on. Because in the block I was in, there was probably 11 to 13 Bloods, and there was probably 8, 9 Crips. And then you had your GDs, then you had your 5%ers, then you had your Trece, your 13s, you know what I'm saying? You had your Mexicans. And it was pretty organized. You know what I'm saying? They had the tables laid out. They knew which ones was whose. They didn't test nobody for nothing. It had been laid out before I was there. The whites kind of had a little area that we hung out at, but it wasn't like West Coast where you only have to hang out with whites. We hung out with blacks and other racial groups as well, but we still kind of hung to our own. You know what I'm saying? And there was only probably 6 or 7 of us. So they got to arguing down right below my cell at that last table down there at the end of the block. If you've watched one of my last videos, you'll see where my cell is at the very end of the block. There's a table right at the very back there. That was the gambling table. All right. Now, this one Blood dude, he was a pretty big dude. I don't recall his name or nothing, but he was a pretty big dude. Had blood tattooed across his traps back there. It said blood, and big bold letters, and he got into it with a Crip, and over the card game. And it was just an argument, you know. It was some words had been said, nothing real disrespectful, but some words was said. So the next day rolls around, and I don't know. I guess they big homies heard about what happened over in the other block, because word came over that, you know, some steel was gonna have to be used. You know what I'm saying? So the disrespect evidently was taken to that point. So when we came out for breakfast, 3 Bloods went in one Crip cell. As he was getting his shoes on, I could see down in his cell, was getting his shoes on. He saw the 3 Bloods come in his cell. He jumped up immediately and started swinging which is what you're supposed to do. Jump up immediately and start swinging. You don't start talking and asking questions because you know if three bloods come in your cell, you know what they coming for. They coming either for your stuff or they coming to hurt you. So he started immediately swinging. Well, there was some iron involved. He got poked up. That was the one that happened in our block. There was 7 stabbings in 2 days in other blocks. So what they did was they locked down the prison, and they would only let 40 guys out at a time to go to the chow hall. Like, when they call for chow, everyone in the cell block comes out their cell and they line up against the wall by the door waiting for the cop in the bubble to pop the door. When he pops the door, then we can come on out, walk down the hall, and go to the chow hall. Not for this week. This week it was they had a guard at each door, and they counted out 40 inmates, and they lined them up against the wall right there, and there was 40 guards with 40 wanders right there, wanding people before they go into the chow hall, and then they let you out of the chow hall at the same time, 40 at a time, and they line you up and they wand you before they put you back in the cell. Now, this was during a lockdown, so they had to take special precautions. To my knowledge, I don't know who won, who got the most stabs off, who got the better of who, but I do know that after 7 days it was squashed. There wasn't nothing ever happened after 7 days after that. But there was one situation that happened, and after they let us off a lockdown, one of the white dudes that he ain't really hang out with us, but he spoke to us in passing, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't one of the type of dudes that we would have let walk the yard with us or anything like that. He just didn't have that swagger about him, you know what I'm saying? He was a white boy, you could tell wasn't gonna show no heart, so, and he didn't. He went out to the yard in his workout shoes, left his good shoes in the cell. Well, his cellmate was still in there, and his cellmate didn't lock the door. He left the door cracked for the Crip, the original Crip that got into the knife fight in our dorm. He ended up swerving in the old boy's cell and stole his shoes. Stole his brand new $40 New Balance shoes. Now, that's not a little thing. You know what I'm saying? That's a high dollar item, and you can't get but one pair of them every 6 months. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta turn the old pair in. You gotta turn the old pair in. You can't just keep getting new pairs of shoes over and over and over. So, what did he do? He naturally come to us. He naturally came to us, wanting us to take care of the situation for him, get him his shoes back. I knew the dude that took his shoes. The dude wore his shoes out in the day room, wore his shoes all over the place. And the white boy knew that those were his shoes, knew that it was the dude that stole his shoes, and didn't do nothing about it. So you know what we did? Nothing about it. Absolutely nothing about it. There wasn't a word spoken about it, man. The dude just gonna lose his pair. He just lost that pair of shoes. And the reason he lost that pair of shoes is because he can't stand up for himself. You know what I'm saying? If somebody would have come in my cell, it would have been completely different. We'd have had to go on ahead and fix that. You know what I'm saying? So, don't get it twisted, man. So if you don't show that you'll stick up for yourself, then no one else will stick up for you. And there's a reason behind that. You have to stick up for yourself because I have to stick up for you as well. So if I got to stick up for you, you're damn sure gonna stick up for you. Now, see, we didn't run into that problem at Tabor because the group that we was with, we called ourselves the Four Horsemen. There was, of course, six. Actually, there was 8 of us, but the four of us kind of made the decisions on what was going on and things like that, and who was going to the yard when, who was going to work out on what corners of the yard, who was going to grab the tree, the workout tree first. You know, we had our stuff kind of, semi organized. It was sloppy. I won't lie to you. It was sloppy. We didn't have, we weren't no real AB or anything like that. But we did have each other's backs. You know what I'm saying? So, when it came down to old boy getting his shoes took, and then we seen him notice the guy that took his shoes wearing his shoes, and he didn't even confront the guy about it. That killed any chance of any of us trying to help him from then on. You know what I'm saying? He was washed up. He was washed up. He was a lone wolf from then on. He didn't get talked to, none of that. And as he shouldn't have. There's certain rules that you have to abide by when you're in prison. There's certain things you have to abide by, certain ways you have to conduct yourself. And if you don't conduct yourself in these manners, then you're going to be washed up. You're going to be all alone out there in a pool of sharks. That's what you're going to be. You're going to be out there in a pool of fucking sharks. And they are going to attack you. Guaranteed. Now, I know in Florida they got this thing called a TOH. That's a test of heart. That's where they, they come to your door, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5 deep, however deep, maybe 1 deep, I don't know. And you got to fight them. You know what I'm saying? That's their test of heart in them JIT camps down there. Well, you kind of got the same thing in North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? What I like to do whenever I get to a new camp, I like to lay down a demo. You know what I'm saying? I like to second day, first day, I'm getting my stuff put up. I'm sleeping because it's been a long day on the bus. Second day, I'm peeping the scene. I'm seeing who's fighting, who's the fighters, who's the gamblers, who runs what, who's doing the tats. I'm finding out all the information, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm going to find me a white boy, and I'm going to take him up in the cell, and I'm going to run him up through there. And the reason it's going to be a white boy is because of 2 reasons. One, they ain't hard, and I want him to be hard. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to train. I would like to train the kid. You know what I'm saying? And 2, if he's never been in a fight in a prison before, I want him to get used to having to fight. Because he's going to have to. You know what I'm saying? So those incidents happened at Tabor, man. It was a wild camp. It was a hard camp. It was a controlled movement camp. I got pictures from there. You couldn't wear a belt. You couldn't wear a hat. You couldn't wear a watch. You couldn't wear any kind of necklace type deal. You couldn't wear anything metal, because just about everywhere you had to go through metal detectors. You couldn't wear sunglasses. You couldn't, none of that. All of that was off the boards. None of that. And if you showed up with it on, they took it off of you immediately. And if your pants was too big and you took that belt off and your pants fell down some, they had the clothes house lady right there ready to downsize your ass immediately coming off the bus and getting into the camp. So, yeah. And another thing I like to share about Tabor Correctional Institution is when you get off the bus, you after you've given up your hat and your belt and all of that, and they got you standing up against the wall, when everybody's done and you turn that corner to go down the hallway up to booking, there's a big wooden plaque above the door. It says Tabor Correctional Institution, quotation marks, The Rock. I am not kidding. It's there. I tried to find some pictures of it online. There ain't no pictures of it online. Maybe I'll get in touch with one of the COs there or something, get a picture of it. But yeah, The Rock is what they call that place. They call that place The Rock because you can't, there's only a few ways out of there. One, you can die. If you die, you're leaving. Two, if you go home, you're leaving. Three is if you have a medical. Other than that, there's no transferring off of this place. You're there. You're stuck. And that's why they call it that. So, anyway, man, I hope y'all take this to heart. I hope y'all listen to it and can understand what I'm saying. And I guess for tonight, man, I'm gonna let y'all go. Don't forget, tell your friends to check out the channel, subscribe and like, all that good jazz. And until the next video, man, keep your head up and stay sucker free.